Wow. This just look loving and caring? Mm. Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. Check us out on OldSkuleNerd.com. It's got all of our social media posts, the Patreon link for those who help support the channel. We appreciate every single one of you. Of course, the Discord link and the merchandise store. Okay, this is another one that I try to tell people all the time. You know, you see me do these Sabaton reactions and Ginger reactions and Napalm artists and Nuclear Blast artists and Century Media artists and all these big bands. But one of my favorite things to do is every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. my time, 4:30 GMT, I sit down and I react to bands that have less than 10,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. And thanks to all of you out there that come to the stream and you're like, dude, found this band here, found this band here. Ooh, here's a tiny band you've never heard of here. I find some diamonds that you just don't even know about yet. Now, some of you do, and for all of you, lucky. For those who don't, this is another one. What if I told you I found a band that has kind of a feeling of I Prevail mixed in with Fire from the Gods combined? Violent by Nature. Now, a lot of people realize that Violent by Nature is also the name of a song from the 90s. It's all good, but that's not the point. This band, someone requested, hey, this band's got a song called Piece by Piece, check it out. And I played it. I started playing it on the live stream for new and upcoming bands, and I had to stop it because it just caught me. Just, there were things about it. The passion of the drumming, the rhythm section was outstanding. The phrasing was amazing. The vocalism by the lead singer was deep. It was harsh. It was savage. It was desperately in fear, yet with power. I don't even know how else to explain that. And there was something about this band that I was just like, dude, I got to do a full reaction. So here we are. Not just for the live stream for up and coming bands. This needs to be a full reaction on YouTube where I really pay attention to what's going on instead of dealing with the chat and everything else we got going on during a live stream. So here we are, Violent by Nature. I sent out a message on Instagram, which I usually do to a lot of bands. When I find a band and I'm going to do a reaction to them, usually I will contact the band on Instagram and say, hey, listen, especially if they're independent. Now, if they're a band that I know is on a label, I will usually send a message to the label letting them know, hey, I'm going to do the reaction to this band. Is that okay? And they'll usually go like, yes. Or sometimes they just don't even respond to me at all. Happens a lot. But because they're an independent band and they do everything in-house by themselves, I reached out to them and let them know, hey, I saw your song. I'm going to do a reaction. Is there anything you want to tell me about your band? You know? Give them the opportunity before I say something that's wrong, which I have been known to do a lot. So I sent a message to Violent by Nature, and sure enough, they responded not only by text, by messaging me back on Instagram going, yes, they actually, well, let me play the responses that they sent via audio. Listen along. I asked them, hey, I said, hello, my name is Old School Nerd. I love your song. Your new song was requested by me, by my amazing community members. I just wanted to tell you your new song, Piece by Piece, is amazing. Love every aspect. Would love to do a reaction on my channel. And they said, thank you so much. I said, do you have any new songs you're working on? Because, you know, there's new stuff coming up. Would you like a reaction to Piece by Piece? Also, do you have any insights onto your band's history or thought process? Please share, as I will mention them if there's anything you want the people to know. And this is what they sent. Listen along with me.
Hey, this is Jerome King. I'm the drummer and producer for Violent by Nature. Thanks so much for reaching out again. We actually have a cover that we're releasing probably within the next week or two of the Squid Games theme song. I don't know if you know what that is. But
Everybody knows what Squid Games is. They're doing a metal cover of the Squid Games theme song. How many of you are coming back for that? I'm counting hands. Keep them up. That's a lot of people. We'll see you then.
it would be awesome to have a reaction to Piece by Piece. I'd love that. And if you want to react to our, again, it's a cover. It's like a minute long. It's kind of like for additional content.
It's fun.
Of our cover of the song Pink Soldiers by 23. Again, it is from the Netflix series Squid Games, but we did a metal cover. I'd love that as well. That'd be great. In a nutshell, insights for the band history, I have a band called A Reason to Live that we started in 2018. All of the members in A Reason to Live are also in Violent by Nature besides one of the guitarists. So it's kind of funny. We have two bands with the same members, but just one different person. Grayson Wasweiler is the guitarist in Violent by Nature, and Todd Miners is the guitarist in A Reason to Live. But again, thought process, we're all friends from high school. Pretty chill.
Okay, some of the best bands are formed when you're all just buddies from high school. There are times when there's always that, as you grow up and you develop in your teenage years, you develop those bonds and that synergy between each other. So some of your biggest bands of all time were, hey, we're just friends from high school, got together, started playing together, and it just kind of all fell together. That's some of the best stuff. Let's finish it out. Oh, but they're pretty chill. Showing their age right there.
Nothing too crazy. We just get together and make some collectively, good music that we want to do. And again, like I said, I'm the producer. It's all in-house. We don't go to anyone else for any of our recordings or our gear. It's all in-house. So yeah.
All right. So that was...
Hey, this is Jerome King.
Drew, the drummer and producer from the band. Similar to Ventersea in Oregon, it's all done together. They do it together themselves. All their gear, all their video production, everything they do, it's all in-house, independent. Gotta love that stuff. As much as I love bands from Napalm and Century Media and Nuclear Blast and all, because you love to see the metal bands get that push and that extra help getting their message out there, because we get to experience all that stuff. All those bands usually start off as the bands that just create their stuff on their own, and they build that desire and passion, and they just share that stuff. So later, when a label gets behind them, they're like, we're not going to change. We're going to keep going. Just help us out. And it becomes turbo speed. So keep an eye out for this band, Violent by Nature. This is the song, Piece by Piece. This visual is from the video. Again, I'm going to tell you, just from the little bit I heard at the beginning of the video before I stopped it during the live stream, I caught hints of I Prevail and Fire from the Gods at the same time. So check this out. Let's start it up.
Now tell me again, like you did earlier. I want you to tell me why you took those people, cut them up, and then burn their bodies.
In order for me to wake from the dead, they all have to die. This is kind of where I stopped it, because I was like, stop.
and I stopped it right here during the live stream because I was like, well, no. This is way too good for me to just do it on just a stream. Let's do a full reaction. You can definitely hear that guitar riff bass line together in concert, and the vocals do remind you of Bow Down, the song Bow Down from I Prevail. It's very aggressive. It is just a savage punch in the face, which you need. That rhythm section, Drew on the drums and the bass player, don't know his name yet, but I will learn, has kind of that groove that you feel from Fire from the Gods. It has a little bit of a swagger to it, a little bit of a not necessarily soul or rhythm and blues, but there is a texture in there that is not just metal. It's got a little bit more flow to it. It's a dynamic rhythm, which I love. So, and nobody does that better than Fire from the Gods. Nobody, in my mind. So, at least from the United States. So let's check this out. Let's finish this out. It's only 3 minutes long. I'm going to back it up a little bit. So nice visual, dude. Yeah, he's down in there, isn't he? He looks like he's about to jump at you. Yeah, expect a little bit of murder in this because it is piece by piece, and they're pretty violent by nature. Yes, puns included. Ow. Some of my favorite stuff in this music is, okay, the only thing I would tell Drew, and hopefully he does see this, the only thing that there's two things that are both a positive and a negative at the same time. That aggressive punch in your face rhythm section does not falter. However, it doesn't change. So there is a slight lack of dynamic in there. Now they are adding dynamics by and I've told this sometimes, some of the best stuff in metal is not what they're playing, it's when they don't play. Those gaps give it that segment. It does pull through. However, that rhythm section doesn't really change. It continues through in a just constant barrage. The only thing that I would critique and say, you know what you could do to just go one level up from there, and that, hey, this is their art. They do whatever they want. I don't know if the lead singer has a melodic tone, but if he does, if they were to do a segment, a lull, where he just comes out and sings some melodic tones in a desperate cry, and then the attack begins again. But instead it reverses. Also a change up. Look, one of the things that caught me right off the back is Drew's drumming. And Drew's drumming is very, I use this word a lot, syncopated dynamic. The beat is very straightforward in the arrangement. However, the syncopated off and off count beats give it a constant barrage that comes at you from every direction, which is amazing. The only thing that I look at this and go to elevate it just one little bit is if you add another dynamic in the song to break up the story that's being told. How you do that comes from the heart. It comes from you. You're the producer, so you know what you're looking for. But this entire song is literally an onslaught to the senses, and it never lets up. So if that's what you're trying to do, an onslaught that never stops, congratulations, you've done that. If you're trying to tell a story, you need to have a lull in that story arc that you can come back at the end and just punch through. Again, they're playing music that they love. It's their music. I'm just making a comment about it because I see so much in these guys just from this first little offering. This is the kind of band that they are talented enough to go anywhere with it. Also, remember, Drew said he has another band, which we need to have to check that one out too, because who knows what's going on in their brains. We do know the musicianship is there, and we do know the creativity and power is there. I just want to know more. This is just the first time I've ever seen them, and I'm loving every minute of this. Let's finish it out strong. I'm going to back it up just a touch. Great look, by the way. That may be your thumbnail right there. I'm just kidding. Let's go. Oh yeah, you screwed, woman. You screwed. I love that break. That is so damn good. Okay, so one of the things that I want to talk about, that's a great shot, by the way. One of the things that I love is by the way it's arranged in the composition of the song, the breaks in the guitar and bass where it leaves just Drew to hit those cymbal hits, the rides, those little beats and all that, those gaps create a try to explain this when I listen to a lot of especially not power metal, but this heavy dark metalcore kind of stuff and this death metal is so many of these bands, they're just pushing hard, right? So anytime these bands put a small gap in there, it's similar to the reverse. When a power metal or a traditional heavy metal band does something very hard, it's in reverse. The gap is still there for the dynamic. And when they put those gaps in there, you're like, it's like you take a breath, but musically. It's like a gasping breath musically. So the same panic gasp of breath when you're shocked, when you're surprised, when you're about to go underwater, that's also an emotional stance in music. And by putting those gaps in there, Drew and the guys really put that forth. This is an awesome track. From a band that's independent, doing it on their own, everything from the ground up is just them, which is great. This is Violent by Nature. The song is Piece by Piece. I will definitely be checking out what he told me to do, that cover that's coming out in a couple of weeks. You'll see that here on the channel. Also, I'll be checking out some of the stuff from his other band. And hopefully, Violent by Nature, Drew and the guys, if you see this, give me a shout out on Instagram. I'd love to hear more about what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing here. This is such a good stuff. A good stuff. What is that? What is that?
The fuck, Richard?
I don't know. I'm just the eyes. The guy's eyes are freaking me out. Already the chick with the yellow thing was freaking me out. She kills him. He gets up, and now he's a demigod. And I'm scared of him, and it's all freaking me out. It was good though. All right, so this is what happens. Both this reaction here, Violent by Nature, Piece by Piece, plus the one we did earlier today with the band from Africa. This is what happens every Saturday. Every Saturday morning on my channel, on Twitch, we find these bands that you may have never heard of because they're independent and small from different parts of the world, but you need to hear what's coming out because right now, metal's going through this renaissance. I told everyone from just 2 years ago when Ginger took over the world on YouTube to all the amazing music coming out from both metal bands that everyone has heard of and bands you've never heard of. Coming out of this COVID pandemic, bands are coming out with music that is passionate, that is dynamic, that is some of the best stuff they've put out. If there's any silver lining to the pandemic of the last 2.5 years, metal music has come through and just exploded across the world. And it's a wonderful thing. My name is OldSkuleNerd. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys answering me and giving us a shout out, giving me a call back here on Instagram. Hopefully you enjoyed my reaction and I wasn't completely wrong on everything, which happens more often than you think. Because I'm an idiot. Nobody told you? Oh, sorry. There you go. Now you know.